Okay, wonderful. So again, good morning to Poland and good afternoon to our friends in Indonesia. Agnieszka is going to talk to you very shortly. But before that, I'm going to talk to you about how this will run. So Agnieszka is going to give us a presentation. And before that, as usual, our rules are like, please, you can please activate your video. As for your audio, please try to mute it during the whole thing. And then afterwards, we'll have this Q&A session. But if Agnieszka wants to ask you a question during the whole thing, of course, you're so welcome to respond. And please, keep as usual your positive and vibrant attitude. And let's make this work really, really well. We can't wait. All right. So everybody, thank you for being here. And let's begin. Agnieszka, time is yours.
Thank you for your amazing introduction. I feel so flattered and also so moved. So now I'm gonna try my best not to embarrass you or myself. Okay, I have to share the screen, but just give me a second. I'm like a boomer, I think. Where's my presentation here? Okay.
You host, Agnieszka, so now you can show it.
All right. I don't know if you can see my presentation. I hope you can.
I can see it.
Okay, can I make it? Okay, I think it's okay. Hello, welcome to my very chill presentation, may I say. I don't really want to bore you here, and I just wanted to talk how eco Poland could be and how eco they are trying to be. So this is going to cover some of the eco practices in Poland, and yes, and let's go. What I mean by eco practices, it's like my definition that I'm trying to employ through the presentation. I suppose it's gonna be about these activities that have some positive impact on the planet and or the community and or individuals. Okay, so I'm not going to focus on just one type of eco practices. I'm not going to narrow it down to like individual practices. I'm going to talk about both individual and more like collective or communal activities and practices. Okay, but I'm going to start with individual initiatives that are taken to kind of ensure that we have some ecological impact on the planet. And I've listed a few because, to be honest, it's very difficult to list all of them, as there are so many. I even asked my friends because I'm not quite sure if I were able to like list them all by myself. So some of these ideas are taken from my friends. Okay. And what you can expect from this part of the presentation? Obviously, initiatives that are taken by individuals, but sometimes they overlap with community initiatives because they rely on communities sometimes. But I'm gonna try to make it like clear and understandable. So bear with me. So I listed a few, and these are diet changes, and I'm going to talk about vegetarianism, veganism, and freeganism very shortly. Zero waste products, secondhand shopping, reducing, reusing, recycling. I'm quite sure you are very familiar with this phrase, and the preservation of products. So let me start from diet changes. And I have so much to talk about because I myself am a vegetarian going vegan slowly. So I can talk about that, I think. And I wanted to start from saying that Poland is traditionally very meat-based country. Lots of traditional dishes revolve around having the meat, and it's mostly pork. Sorry. It's quite hard to imagine that big diet changes would happen here, as you know. I'm not gonna lie. I used to eat meat, and I used to enjoy all the traditional meat-based dishes. But somehow they get to be veganized. I don't know how to say that. They are basically going plant-based. And I would also like to say that the changes from very meat-based country to very open to trying vegetables and plant-based dishes. These are the changes that are going very fast here, as some of the reports actually show that almost 1/5 of the respondents do not eat meat. Other studies suggest it could be around 3.2 million Poles, which is quite a lot. Poland is about 40 million Polish people, but still 3.2 million Poles is quite a lot. So the changes are quite visible. And I would also like to mention some of the facts from the studies. It is that more than 50% of people who are on a plant-based diet are under 35 years old. So we have this, we can see this change mostly in younger people. Not gonna lie, most of older people, like our grandparents and even our parents, are very not open to trying plant-based dishes, right? But it's slowly changing. In my family, my younger brother is also vegetarian, and my family is quite open to plant-based dishes because I am the cook at house, so they have to eat something, right? Okay. And also, the studies show that women are more likely to try plant-based options, and obviously, people who live in the city, because of their easier access to such products, plant-based products in the supermarkets, right? So they are more likely to try them. Okay, so that's about diet changes. Um, but also, it's what's worth mentioning is that let's say 10 years ago, I also tried to be a vegetarian, which was ridiculous back then, I suppose, because there were no options. If I were to go to the supermarket and grab something that is plant-based or that is vegan, I would have to rely on tofu only, and that's it, nothing else. Obviously, vegetables, right? Vegetables have always been here, right? But no other options. There were probably close to none Polish companies that would produce plant-based products. And now we have a boom of that. Literally lots of companies opening up to plant-based products. Some of them are actually also producing like meat products, but they are very open to kind of broaden up and bring about some plant-based changes. And to list a few companies, I don't know. I chose the two most famous one. Wow, I didn't put on my favorite one. Wow. Okay. But multiple Polish companies specialize in just plant-based products, and these are, for example, bezmięsny, which translates to meatless, and they produce all of the typically associated with meat products. So we have like sausages, like ham, salami, and stuff like that. But obviously, it's all plant-based. May I say it's quite nice, but it's also quite expensive, and that's also worth mentioning because so many people wants to be vegan or vegetarian, but these products are quite expensive. But it is what it is, I guess. We also have Wege Siostry, which translates to vegan sisters, and they produce cheese, vegan cheese, usually from I think almond cheese. I haven't tried it. This is very expensive, and I can't really try it because I'm just a poor student. I mean, I'm not even a student anymore. So, okay, so I can't use this argument anymore. And what I would also add is dobra kaloria, which translates to good calorie. And they produce lots of things. They produce meatless minced. So basically, it looks like meat, like the meat you would use to, I don't know, make spaghetti or something, right? So they produce that, also sausages, lots of vegan options. And I think it's also worth mentioning that before you could barely find anything that is vegan. You would have to look very hard to find something. And now most of the shops have this vegan, vegetarian section. Oftentimes it's also called like bio shelf or vegan shelf or eco shelf. But here are the pictures, right? And here, I don't know if you can see me pointing at it, but yeah. So this is from Lidl. Lidl is not a Polish shop, but you can see that there is just a vegan zone here. So you have like all the juices, you have some just vegan products, right? So it's easy to find at the shop. And here it's a picture from Biedronka, and Naya is probably very familiar with Biedronka because it's a very good shop. But why I put this picture? It's because that is actually a special brand that the shop made, and it's all just for vegan products. So you have like tofu, you have some gyros, some burgers, right, mayonnaise. All that is vegan, and all that is made just for this special shop. So it's quite easy to become a vegetarian here now. You have the variety of products, and you can easily find them, locate them in the shop. So that is a very big change. And I think you can see that with if you have like friends here, there is a big possibility that someone is vegetarian or vegan. Okay, so I think that's going to conclude my vegan vegetarian part of the presentation. Um, I'm now going to move to zero waste products, and of course, I'm going to talk about it's bigger than it was before. And before, if someone wanted to obtain some kind of zero waste product or zero waste, just an object that is zero waste, like a toothbrush that is made of bamboo or something like that, that was difficult. You would have to order it online, and then you also think about how it's not really that ecological if you order it online, because then it has to be shipped to you, right? So it kind of contributes to some problems, to some ecological problems. But now it's very easy to find. Uh, Lots of zero waste products are easily found in supermarkets or in chain stores. And again, Naya could be familiar with one of them, which is Rossmann. Uh, Definitely. Yeah, this is like cosmetics kind of shop. And you can find lots of zero waste products there. And I focused on three categories, let's say. So we have like cosmetics, zero waste deodorants, perfumes, shampoos, and I have some with me because I'm a demonstrative. Like we have these zero waste shampoo. This is just, this is just like soap, right? Heart shaped soap. And it actually says that this one package saves 2 bottles of shampoo, so this is fine. uh, we also have zero waste perfumes, and I also have some. These are not for from any chain store or any supermarket. I actually had to order them online. But these are perfumes, right? They're just, in this very small jar. What else can I say? Menstrual products, menstrual cups, reusable pads, reusable menstrual underwear. I have a cup myself. Also, I think this I had to order because it was, I don't know, 3 or 5 years ago. I don't remember. So I had to order that because back then there was no such products in here. But now many Polish companies open up to this idea, and they produce the menstrual cups themselves. So that's nice. I also have a toothbrush, obviously, the bamboo toothbrush. And this is actually quite nice. This is made of corn. And this I found in Rossmann. So it's a chain store. I don't know why it's wet. I think I spilled some water on it. Sorry. So these are some of the products I use on a daily basis, and they are easily found. We also have like household maintenance products, so eco detergents, but also people trying to educate others on how to make eco detergents themselves, uh, which is also a very big thing right now. Okay, so that concludes the zero waste shopping, I think. Yes, for now. So now let me move on to secondhand shopping. And I'm not sure how familiar are you with secondhand shopping. I think that here it was. the change was very huge here, because I remember being a teenager, and I remember secondhand shops being kind of laughed about, as people who would wear stuff from secondhand shops would be considered rather poor and rather unfashionable. And thankfully, there is this rise of eco consciousness, or but also, just I think it's just because people realize that you can find so many good things there. So as I said before, it was rather perceived negatively, uh, but uh, but oh, okay, yeah, and it was considered fashionable to dress in the clothes from chain brands. So if you were to go to school, you would be rather praised for wearing something from a chain brand, which is now not really something that people do, because now there is a big rise of popularity of secondhand shopping among the young people. So we have many secondhand shops in the cities and in small villages. Basically, if you were to go to Torun, you can pass by so many secondhand shops, because there is interest in them, and it's interest from both the elderly. They heavily rely on secondhand shops. They are just used to it, but also young people. And the prices vary, they change every day. So one day it could be just 2 zloty. I don't know how it translates to Indonesian money. Okay,
Yeah,
so
one's
it's
what? Sorry,
mhm,
Agnieszka. One's what is like 3,600 or 3,700, depending on the currency. 3,700 rupiah.
okay.
One's what?
So okay. So it's not a lot. It's not a lot to buy, like, a, I don't know, a coat, or like a trousers, or whatever you find. So it's quite useful to come on the days that it's very cheap, but also you have to kind of realize that you might not find anything on that day, because there might be many people coming at this time. So it's literally just it depends on what you need and when you go there, but it's an option. And it is actually generally popular to go to thrift stores, just as an activity, and then make like hauls, and kind of like, how would you style this ideas, right? So this is actually a big change, and I'm glad it's happening. Honestly, I wish it happened before. I wish it happened when I was a teenager. but but I'm glad that today's teenagers are not that keen on finding chain stores, clothes this fashionable. Okay. And this is the look of the usual secondhand stores. So you have many things in the same place. Sometimes they are separated by the color, which helps, because I always go for the black, for example. So I know where to go. You can see that some of these things are are not really that fashionable, right? I don't know, these dresses here, not sure about them. But you can find something, you can alter something, you can basically do whatever you want, because it's quite cheap anyway. But I don't know why I said usual secondhand stores. I think I wanted to kind of include the vintage stores that are also here, but vintage stores are very expensive, and I think it's just a fancy name for a secondhand store, but it's also like, in a vintage store everything is more neat. I think it's not like that you have like all the clothes thrown in one place. I think it's separated and it looks like a boutique kind of thing. But anyway, also when we talk about secondhand shopping, we have to mention some of the apps that help people buy and and sell their own clothes. And I mentioned a few. Instagram is not really a secondhand shopping app, but so many people actually rely on Instagram to post their clothing. To Sorry, if there is anything happening in the chat, I can't see it. for now. So sorry for now.
Read it later. It's okay, Agnieszka.
Okay. Okay, so on Instagram you can find many people who post their the clothes they might have found in the thrift stores, but they don't really want to wear themselves, so they want to sell them. I found some of the clothes this way, so I've decided to include it. OLX, sorry, is I think it's a Polish website, and you can actually find anything there. It's kind of like an eBay, but mostly local. So you wouldn't send anything. You would rather meet with someone to pick up the thing that you wanted to buy. And I'm not sure how familiar are you with Vinted, but this is a big app here. I actually use it quite a lot when I want to find something. I think, yeah, I have these pants from Vinted. Sorry, I'm dressed for the occasion, I think. This is from a thrift store, obviously. So I'm not that, I don't really buy new clothes myself. So Vinted, I don't know. Vinted is just an app for selling and buying clothes, and I think I like this method the most. It's not the most ecological one, so I'm sorry, but it's my favorite one because I can easily find something, and I don't really have to go anywhere to buy the thing that I wanted to buy, which maybe is actually ecological. Because I live outside the city, so if I were to go to a secondhand shop, I would have to take the bus, right? So maybe it is a good option for me. It works well. Obviously, you have to pay for shipping here, unless you find someone who lives close to you. Then you don't have to pay for shipping, I suppose. But the shipping is quite okay. Um, I don't know if it's worth mentioning, but maybe, yeah. We have these shipping boxes. It's um, it's basically a big box that you can order your stuff to. So like a delivery person doesn't have to actually come to your house. They can just leave it there. I think it's also ecological in its own way, right? Because it reduces the car bath things. I'm sorry, I forgot the word. But basically, yeah, it reduces car, you know, petrol usage and stuff. Sorry, I have no word in my mind right now. So it's also, I guess, quite ecological now that I think about that. So yeah, so these are very popular. This is also very popular for finding a job. As I said, it's like basically for everything. But yeah, let me move on to reduce, reuse, and recycle. And I'm quite sure I don't have to introduce this phrase. This is very popular here too, for some people. Obviously, some people do not care about ecological stuff, so they won't really care about that. Reduce water and power usage, obviously. Not quite sure if it's always because of ecological reasons or if it's because it's expensive. Water and power, the prices are high, the prices are going up every year, so I think some people might just do that for the sake of their own expenses. Reducing shopping, and what I mean by that is that some people, I think some people used to go to the shop and just grab whatever, and I think this is changing, and it's probably also because of the prices, which are very high now. uh, so people actually make lists before going shopping. They also plan their meals so nothing goes waste, or at least maybe just little goes to waste, right? What I mean by reuse here, giving new life to potential trash, like containers, jars, and bottles. And this has always been something that was used in my house. Containers. If we eat ice cream, the container is not to be thrown away. We're just gonna put, like, I don't know, whatever we have to this container, but not ice cream, obviously. Maybe like some sewing objects, or or whatever, maybe some medicine we can put in the container. It's not going to be thrown away. Jars, obviously, but that's going to be, I think that's going to be discussed later. Bottles, depends. Because some of the plastic bottles are basically useless, but we can also use them to water the plants or something like that. Clothes exchange, selling and giving away furniture, that's also something that can happen. For example, our neighbors had some clothes that they didn't want to really throw away. So we were like, yeah, just show us what you have, and you can just exchange the clothes. Same with furniture. I'm not the person who actually who actually throws away furniture unless it's like broken, very broken. Then yes, I might consider it. But actually, it was actually this year. This year, I really needed a new desk because my desk was like 20 years old, quite broken, no place, just no space to actually put something on. And with an online job and online studies, it was quite difficult not to have a good desk. But thankfully my neighbors were changing their furniture, so they gave away a very nice desk. So this is the desk that I'm talking about. You can't see it, but it's huge, it's amazing. It's quite broken here, for example, but I don't care. It's very useful. I love that idea. I don't understand people who like just change their furniture when it's completely okay. But that's just me, I guess. Okay, and reuse. What also I could include in the reuse phrase? I think that's it for now. Maybe I will remember something else. Recycle, upcycling, and trust segregation. And trust segregation is gonna be covered later too. So I'm not gonna focus now on that. Okay, wardrobe sharing. This is also a huge thing, but I think I put it later on too. I'm sorry if I'm gonna repeat myself. I was trying my best to make it like enjoyable, but let's see how it goes. I don't remember if I put it twice, maybe. What is wardrobe sharing? Basically, a place where you can share your wardrobe, right? So when you have something that you want to throw away, you don't have to. You can just take it to this very weird wardrobe box. It's actually placed outside. It's next to my ex high school, so you can easily just place it somewhere here, and a person that needs it can just take it, or someone can just take it and put something back to you. So that's how it works basically. Okay, wait, I think I've lost something. Okay. Preservation of products. In Poland, the very tradition of preserving products is huge, right? So we have lots of pickled things like beetroot, like cucumbers, jams, syrups. All that is preserved somehow. So mostly because when we have the winter and it's very cold and it's very sad. It's quite nice to just have some jam to eat with with your pancakes or with your crepes. So we heavily rely on that. In my family too, we had lots of tomatoes, and I don't know how many tomatoes you can eat, but if you have like a few kilograms and it's going to waste, like at some point it's just gonna rot, right? You have to preserve them somehow. So we can just make some passata, some pickled tomatoes, and we can enjoy them during the winter, for example. So that's a tradition, but that's a good tradition, may I say. I'm very proud of all the preserved products, not gonna lie. Okay. And I suppose that when you have the rise of demand for natural and healthy products like bio products, more people try to make their own preserves because it's expensive to buy the preserves that are actually not produced like manufacturally. If you were to go to the pharmacy or to the shop to buy some syrup, like let's say black lilac syrup, which is also good. It's good for your health too. um, it's it's very expensive to buy it, but if you make it, it's mostly free. Like, if you have a tree with like black lilac, I know it's not that popular in the city to have a tree, right? But I live outside the city, and I have some access to my own trees, let's say. I can just easily make the syrup or juice, and I can enjoy it for basically for free. But if we were to go to the shop, it's quite expensive. So people try to buy their own fruit and make it themselves, because that's quite. I think that's not that expensive. Okay, so that's preservation of products. This is a typical place to have your preserves, right? Lots of these things. You can see that the jars are not really new. They are also reused, right? So you save the jars to make some compote, some juice. Basically, you just don't really buy new jars to make these preserves, right? You just save some jars, and you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna make pickled cucumbers now in this honey jar, because that's how it works. Why would you throw away a perfectly fine jar, right? So this is a typical picture from a Polish basement. I was supposed to take my own picture, but I don't know. I think I'm just running out of time with taking pictures. Okay. And now I would like to move on to these local or collective practices. And obviously, what I mean by that is these are the practices that are implemented on a slightly bigger scale, so locally or around the country. And these are the things I want to talk about, which is trust segregation, which I've mentioned before, I know, public transport development, restaurants, eco-consciousness, eco-programs, eco-education at schools, car sharing and food sharing. So let me move on to trust segregation. And I would like to say that it actually is. Oh, sorry. More and more cities actually require trash to be separated into special bags and containers. So you have to segregate somehow. Because if you don't, you can actually pay a penalty for not doing that. Or if you live in the city, they might not take the trash away. So you would be stuck with all the trash for like the next week or two, just for disobedience. If you don't want to, if you don't want to cooperate, then here you go, you have some trash. And this is something that actually happened when I lived in Germany for a few months. I think some people didn't actually segregate the trash, and the trash was not taken away, and we were stuck with so much trash. So not recommended. But there are also ideas that if you don't want to segregate your trash, you have to pay more for the trash collection, which is, I guess, it's fair. But then the difference is not really that huge. I think most people actually segregate their trash unless they are very bad people. But we don't. But some people are just like that, right? Some people just don't see it as something that makes sense to them, because in the past you would have to pay to have the trash segregated. But like, sorry, no, you didn't have to pay for the trash to be segregated, but you would segregate it anyway, and then it would be just thrown away into one container. So you were like, yeah, that makes sense. But now it's actually separated. So if I were to say like the schedule, there you have like a specific schedule when you live outside the city, when specific trash is taken, right? So let's say on Mondays they take like just the general your general trash can, so all the things that can't really be recycled. And then like on Wednesday they take plastic, paper, and metal, right, separated. And then you have like bio trash too, taken on some other day. So it's basically separated. um, when you live outside the city, you can also collect some compost, and then it's easier to fertilize your crops or your garden. So that's also what happens. Um, Many people collect metal cans. Usually it's people who are homeless. They collect metal cans too, because you can get some micro profits for metal cans. um I'm not sure how are the prices. I don't remember any of the prices. My We also collect metal cans and then exchange them for some money. It's not a lot. You have to have lots of cans to get, like, I don't know, 10 zloty maybe. But it's still something that we do. And collecting bottle caps. I actually have a bottle myself. Sorry, plastic bottle, but these, right? These we collect. This is to be thrown away. Um, so basically, why do we do that? And this is something that is quite huge. Ever since I was a child, we were told to collect these bottle caps. And then these bottle caps are exchanged for some equipment for people with disabilities, for example, um, which was which never made sense to me, because how these bottle caps can fund some equipment. I was like confused, so I had to Google it like 2 days ago, literally, because I used to do that anyway, but I was curious how it works. But basically, these caps are exchanged for money, and then the money can fund the equipment, right? That makes sense. But what do they do with these caps? They basically, I think they just crush them, right, into plastic that can be reused, or that can be made into something else. So that's what they do. And I found out 2 days ago. But I'm quite sure, I'm quite happy that I did that, despite my lack of knowledge on what they do with the caps. But it's something that is huge at schools. So if you were a child and you were told to collect these bottle caps, you would, because there would be like competitions between like certain like classes, like, oh, we have these many, oh, we have this many, and stuff like that. So that was like a very competitive part of being at school. But it was all for the good cause, so not really complaining about that. Okay, so that was my trash segregation moments. And now for the public transport development. I think it's worth starting from saying that the public transport in Poland is not bad. Um, I suppose, in comparison to some other places. It's quite easy to commute in the city, and from the city to another city. I think it's quite easy. The transport is not that expensive too. And I suppose that there might be even bigger changes happening. Like right now in our city, in Toruń, there is a new tram line being built. So Naya can look forward to that. But that's going to take I guess, a few years, right? Because building a whole line of tram is taking some, it's going to take some time. But basically, some people think, and I also think that's true, that better access to public transportation means that there are fewer car drivers. And I'm quite sure that it's something that can happen in the future. But we still have some kind of public transport exclusion happening in smaller villages and in the countryside. So there, people really rely on cars, which is fair because they have to go to work, right? So I suppose that a good change would be to make the access to public transportation not a privilege, right, but something that is like a basic right, right? And when it comes to Toruń, again, there is a switch to hybrid or electric modes of transportation. So we have the buses that are electric, sorry. And I guess I have a picture of that. And also what is also employed is the no car day. And on that day, people can just take buses and tramways for free. But I'm not quite sure if it's for all the people or if it's just for car drivers. If it's just for car drivers, not gonna lie, not very equal to me. But I would have to look into that, because to be honest, I rarely take public transport right now because I work from my home. But that's something that happens, and I guess some people use that as an excuse, right, to take the bus or tramway. Okay, and what else? Oh yeah, this is the electric bus, and I think you can see that there's like 100% electric something, right? That's I think that's not from Torin. It says Torin, but this is not Torin, I guess. So sorry for the misconception, but these can just go in Torin. And obviously tramways. Tramways are quite big. We're very thankful for tramways to that would take us to the university, for example. Very good mode of transportation, quite fast. Sometimes the accidents happen, and then you are stuck in a tram because it can't open because it's electric, but it happens, I guess. All right. Now let me move on to restaurants' growing interest in ecological solutions. Um, I suppose the change happened a few years ago. So the restaurants would implement reusable products like metal straws, and just just like glass containers too. One of my favorite cafes tries to employ these ecological solutions. So if they have like desserts, like some kind of, let's say, oatmeal, it would be put in a jar, and if you want to take it away, you can just save the jar for the next time. You can probably give it back at some point. So that's also something that happens here. Metal straws, an amazing idea, especially because paper straws are still considered trash, right? And paper straws are not really something that many people are a big fan of, because they can get destroyed very easily. But metal straws, nice idea. I suppose that it's not something that is going to be always a thing, because I think it's worth mentioning that some people need plastic straws. Some people with disabilities sometimes need plastic straws. So restaurants do not really like throw away all the plastic, right? They have to kind of keep in mind that some people might need a plastic straw instead of a metal straw, right? So this is also happening here. What else? Selling the food, the products that were not sold during the day, and they are very much in a reduced price. And we have two apps, Too Good to Go or Foodsie. I have to say that I don't know the Foodsie app too well. I know the Too Good to Go, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. There's also a growing interest in using bio or local products. So people would reach out to local producers of certain food, of like preserves too, so jarred food. And I think I forgot to mention that we also have these eco markets, when people would just come to the market and just sell their own products. Sorry. This also is something that happens quite regularly in Torun, at least. I think it's like once a month. You would go to the market and you would see all the bio and local products, and you can just buy it. The prices vary, really, whatever you need, and it just varies. Um, and yeah, and in restaurants you also have more plant-based options. So typically in the past, you you could have some could have had some issues finding plant-based options that were not a salad, for example. Now you have lots of sorry. Firstly, you have lots of restaurants that are vegan or vegetarian, and like no meat. But also when you go to just a regular restaurant, high possibility that there is going to be something that is plant-based and maybe even vegan, like vegan only. So that's quite a change. And yeah, the two apps. This one I'm not really familiar with, but apparently it's quite popular. This one is very popular, basically among young adults, probably the most. The idea is quite simple. If the restaurants or any kind of shop has some products that were not sold during the day, they can just put it in the app that they have this package with certain products that were not sold, and you can pick them up for like 10 zloty, for example. And sometimes the packages are very like mystery boxes, so you just go and pick them up, and then at home you find out that you have like 4 yogurts, and I don't know what you're gonna do with 4 yogurts, but they were free. So this happens even in bigger stores. So stores that like, I don't know, like Auchan or Carrefour, you would have that, but in restaurants too. And many restaurants join this app to fight the I guess the food throwing away part of the restaurant. So that's what happens. And also in some shops, um, if it's, let's say the shop is closing at 10 p.m., uh, at about 8 p.m., lots of products are reduced in price by, let's say, 50% or 70%. So if you were to go to the supermarket at 8 p.m. and you go to the bakery section of the supermarket, you just go there and you see that your favorite donuts are now just 50 groszy, so half a zloty, so around 1,500 Indonesian money, I suppose. So that's not a lot for for a nice donut here. So lots of products are reduced in price, and I think more shops employ that idea. It's not about just baked stuff, right? It's about lots of things. So you can just go to the shop and, oh, this is my favorite type of juice, and it's reduced in price by 70%. How thoughtful! And you can just take it home, right? I mean, you have to pay it, but you can take it home later. Okay. Now eco programs, and these are the programs that are employed by the government, also by the European Union, right? They are mostly they strive to engage people in making some ecological changes or ecological, like just ecological choices. And I've named a few here, which is czyste powietrze, which translates to clean air, stop smoke, and solar panels reimbursement. um, and may I say, oh, this is an amazing screenshot. Sorry, this is automatically translated, so if it makes no sense at some point, just excuse me, okay? But basically, you can take a grant to replace your furnace and insulate your house. Because here's the thing, as much as I'm talking about lots of practices in Poland that try to make this place more ecological, Poland is still it heavily relies on the usage of coal, and the coal mines are also a big thing here. So to be honest, all the things that I've listed, they don't really matter that much. They don't make that big of a change because we are still stuck with coal being used. And they try to change it, but this is not an easy thing to change, right? This is supposed to change, like this change is supposed to cover the whole country. And I know we're not that huge of a country, right? But it's still quite a big change. So they try their best to employ these programs. So we have clean air, stop smoke, and this is about the solar panels, I think. Maybe. Okay. What is a clean air program? It's basically a program for people who live in the houses for a change of their heat sources of their furnace. So basically, you can fill in the form and you can try to apply for a special reimbursement for buying a new furnace, for example. So if your furnace uses coal, you can change it and it can use something else, some other resources. So this is actually quite popular amongst people, and many people apply for that. I'm actually about to apply for that, I think next year, because I'm not really, I don't know, this year was a mess to me. So I have to like kind of, tidy up my thoughts and tidy up stuff. Okay. Is it applauding or is it like raising your hand? Your hand. I'm sorry. Okay. But anyway, so this is clean air, right? We also have the stop smoke, and it's mostly I think it's quite similar because you have the replacement of heat sources and into like low emission ones, and basically modernization. And also you have these solar panels that you can put on your house. But here's the thing, and this is something that my friend pointed out. The thing is that with solar panels, they are ecological. They may produce the needed power. Usually they don't if you have if you have a quite a big house. So you couldn't just rely on the solar panels because it's not a very sunny country, to be honest. So logically, you can't produce all the energy by the solar panels. And also, they are not really like, there is no solution to throw these panels away. You can't really recycle them. So it's also an issue. And that just needs to be considered. But if you are if you want to, you can apply and get some reimbursement for buying the solar panels. They are quite popular. If I go around my village, they are quite popular. There are people who have them. I'm not sure how ecological that is, and if it is enough to produce enough power for like the whole family. But it's happening here. And yeah, these are the programs that are basically supervised by the government or by the European Union. And changing and modernizing your whole house, this is a huge step to take. So people take time, but I think these programs end in 2030 maybe, so we still have like 10 years to go, I hope. Okay, so that was like government and just governmental, let's say, initiatives. And also, I think that's almost over the presentation. But eco education at school, and I've mentioned before that we would collect the bottle caps, and then they would found some equipment for, let's say, people with disabilities, for example, right? But eco education at school doesn't end there, right? We oftentimes have the promotion of healthier or more sustainable eating choices. And what I mean by that, this is also not something that was happening when I was a kid. Like, I missed on all the good stuff, really. But I have a younger brother who is 11 years old, and that's something I just took from his school, right? So the kids are given vegetables, fresh and free vegetables and fruit, basically every day. So he would just come home with a tomato in his backpack. It's a very good idea, but then these are kids and they sometimes forget that they got a tomato, and then you find out like 2 days later and that tomato is rotten. So what's no, you have to remember that they might come home with a tomato or with a pear or whatever they just given away. They just given that certain day, but that happens. We also have the celebration of the International Earth Day, and actually that was something that was always happening when I was a kid. And what do we do on this day? Usually we just leave the school and go to the nearest forest or nearest place to collect the trash, and that was always fun, especially when you when you were to go to a place that was dangerous or mysterious or something, and you would find something very weird in the forest, and the kids would just kind of have this competition of finding the weirdest trash. Obviously, we were given instructions that some trash is not to be taken if we were close to the hospital, because actually we were like maybe 2 or 3 times we were very close to the hospital, and you would find a needle or something. No, you don't take the needle. obviously. But like basic trash, like some packaging or stuff like that, you would have to just pick it up and collect it. And there would also be competition on between like the classrooms, right? So who would collect the most trash, they would win, I don't know, some sweets or something like that. It works. It works for children, right? Not sure about the adults, but it works for children. And we also have some projects, like the Foundation for Ecological Education. And this is a whole foundation, and they try to make the schools more ecological. So make changes in modernizing too. So so also it's also concerned with the probably with solar panels too, but also with employing like vegetarian diets in school canteens and stuff like that. But to be honest, I can't really discuss it all because we don't have that much time. But yeah, and this is the cleaning the word actions at school. Cleaning the word, obviously, what I've mentioned before. So you have just the kids with a trash bag and you just collect the trash. I don't know these kids. I'm sorry. I just took the picture. I thought maybe I would find myself somewhere, but I guess I'm just too old for the internet. So you would just have the kids go around the place and clean the trash. And as you can see, I guess some of them are very happy about that. Maybe not this one. Some of the kids are happy though to help the earth this way. And this is something that has happened like way before, like when I was a kid, when my older brother was a kid, my uncles, my mom, it's happened before. And this is amazing. It's usually one day a year, but it happens at least, right? Okay, and the next one is car sharing. And this is also something that people do. You have the growing popularity of applications and websites that encourage carpooling. And one of the most famous ones used in Poland is BlaBlaCar. The idea is quite simple. You want to go to Warsaw, for example. Oh, you just search if someone is going to Warsaw on the day that you want to go to Warsaw, and you can ask them if you can join them. Is it always safe? Probably not. Sometimes you might come across weird people. I think my friend had a situation when who was that? I don't remember which friend it was, but some of my friends had such a situation when they wanted to go to Warsaw and they were stuck with very weird people. But once you go in the car, you don't really take off in the middle. So and it's free or it's a very small cost. So that's also useful. Probably you can share the cost of the petrol when it comes to that, but for some people it could be less expensive than taking the train, for example. Okay, food sharing also a big thing. It's very similar to something that I've mentioned before, which was wardrobe sharing. The idea is quite similar, I would say. You have the growing popularity of the spots or places called jadłodzielnie, which are food sharing places. Basically, it's just a spot in the city, usually in the cities or in towns. Um, it's usually it is just a fridge that is kind of covered, so no one steals the fridge, for example. I mean, people could do that, and anyone can bring their leftover food. Obviously, not something that has gone bad, right? It's the food that can be eaten, right? But you just have too much, for example, and you can share it with others. It is convenient because these spots can are located in different parts of the city, but also they can be moved quite easily because it's just a fridge, right? So you can move the fridge probably. Um, this is actually especially useful around the time of holidays like Christmas, because sadly, I don't know. Oh, sorry. Sadly, during such holidays, lots of food goes to waste because people are bad at planning the food, and also because of the traditions here. Like for Christmas, you are supposed to have 12 dishes. 12 dishes is a lot. You might have some leftovers, right? So some people are not really do not really plan it well, so they end up with lots of leftover food. But because of these jadłodzielnie, food sharing places, they can just bring their leftover or something that, or just food that they have too much of, like too much of one certain food. Let's say, like, oh, I have like 200 pierogi. Pierogi are dumplings, like a very traditional Polish dish. um I'm just gonna bring like 50 to this place, and they just can stay there. And this is how it looks like. So you can see it's like a big fridge, right? I guess this man opened this place with this woman, and you have some rules here. So basically, it says that you can take as much as you want, but don't take more than you need, because that just makes no sense, right? Also, okay, okay, if you have like, let's say if you have like juice um in this package that is packed in plastic or something, just separate it from the plastic and just leave the bottle, for example. And obviously just leave the place as it was, so don't spill anything in the fridge, because it's gonna miss the point, right? You're wasting something. And these are the places that are in our town. I think this is a different place. This is a more build one, I guess. This is just a fridge in a random place. This is like a small building, and I guess you can store more there, because there are probably some shelves too. But this is something that is quite popular, and it's I think it's growing in popularity in Poland in general. Okay, and I guess that's it. What I didn't mention, and I just remembered that this morning actually, there are clothing brands or clothing companies that also try to make smarter choices and go zero waste, or go maybe not zero waste, but go ecological. And I just remembered that there is one company in Poland that makes shoes that are made of like pineapple peels or banana peels. So these are supposed to be um, the leather replacement, right? So they just make it out of peels, for example. But I think that's it. I think I've covered most of the things that I wanted to talk about. These are some of my sources, and most of them are going to be in Polish, so I'm sorry, but you can automatically translate some of them if you wish. So yes, this is the continuation, and thank you for your attention.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Agnieszka. Oh, wow. So, before I comment on that, and I have so many comments actually. Maybe I'll chat you because we don't have enough time. But there are some, comments in the chat. I wonder if you can see, but there are two questions, I think. One of them is from Anisha and one of them is from Sarpian Hidayat. So could you read them or would you like me to read them for you?
I can't find them for now. I'm sorry. I don't know how to use Zoom really. Chat. Okay, I can see that.
Okay, yeah.
Wait. Okay. Uh, oh, someone wants to move to Poland. Nice. Okay. Uh, car emissions, garage sale, Passata.
Oh yeah, I was just
Oh,
noting.
that's you explaining what compot is. That's
Yeah.
nice. I'm sorry I didn't explain that. I kind of did think about that. Okay. Vegan food choices in Poland. Personally, I'm interested to eat least. Sorry, can't read less meat, but I think it's hard to stop because there are limited options of vegan food in Indonesia. What type of vegan food are there in Poland? How do they taste like, and what's your favorite one? As I said, lots of vegan options here. Um, Basically whatever you think about that could be just plant-based, you can find it easily here. So maybe I could just show you some of the things. Let's say, um, okay. I don't know if I can share my screen, but maybe. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to share my screen.
Okay,
Just okay. Can you see that?
not yet, I guess.
Oh no. Oh, sorry. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of the companies I've mentioned. So you have like burgers, you have like meatless meatballs, gyros, right? All of the things that could be veganized are veganized. So these are from my favorite brand. Um, I heavily rely on this one, which is just minced, right? It looks like meat. You can make anything with that, but also just lots of things here, right? So it's not just tofu. Basically, whatever you can think of. Like you have this. This is, I guess, chicken. Sorry, that's not what I wanted. But basically, you have every replacement here. If you want to, if you want to taste the, I don't know, the fish, for example. You miss the taste of the fish. You can just make some, or you can just buy some replacement, and that's not a problem here. So it's easily found here, and not a problem. Basically, you have just an ad from a shop, lots of vegan stuff, vegan ice cream, vegan milk, vegan whatever you can think about. It's probably easily found here. Did I miss the question? Sorry. How can I stop sharing my screen? I feel like a boomer here. I'm sorry. Hmm, not
Okay.
here.
There's no
Stop
option.
share. Okay, sorry. It's fine. Okay, and I suppose there are limited vegan food. Also because you probably there's fish too, right? You eat fish a lot. Here too people eat fish, but obviously not vegans. But people actually make fish out of sorry, I don't remember the name of the vegetable. Sorry, I'm gonna check. um yeah, not celery, it's not a cellar. um Celery, probably people make fish out of celery here, and they call it cellar fish or something like that. So we can also easily praise that, I guess. um and how do they taste like? Very similar, sometimes too similar. I remember being in a Burger King. It's obviously a fast food place. I don't really go to fast food places, but I was just interested in trying their vegan burger and vegan chicken nuggets. I mean, they were not chicken nuggets, but they were vegan, and they were so they tasted so much like meat that I was just scared. I was like, is it vegan? I do not feel like this is vegan. So lots of things taste very much like meat, but some of the things do not taste like meat. They just look like meat. So whatever you need, you might find it here, I guess. Okay, did I answer the question? Because I feel like I didn't. I'm sorry. But my favorite one, honestly, so much of that. But I think I showed you my favorite one because I really love spaghetti. So I always make spaghetti with this minced meatless meat, let's say. So I think this is my favorite one. Yeah. Okay, and the next question is I'm very curious about the sustainability, which is more focused on Poland. And from all the eco lifestyles that you mentioned, I wonder, are there people who still don't care about the environment that there at all? Um, yes, there are people who do not care about the environment, for sure, because some people see these little initiatives, right, as useless, basically. As I said, the biggest problem here is that we have the coal mines, that we rely on coal. If this doesn't stop, our individual initiatives don't really matter in a bigger scale, right? So some people don't care. Some people are just very mean. So if you say that you are a vegan, they just laugh at you for no reason. Like, I don't care really if you eat meat. I never tell people to not to eat meat because I feel like this is a personal choice, right? But I think what's worth mentioning is that I suppose there was like a big drama a few days ago on Twitter when someone said that they would like to have a wedding party with no meat and no alcohol. And the people in Poland are like, meat eaters and very heavily like fans of the alcohol, right? So there was like a big drama. Like, how can you force someone not to have meat at your wedding, something like that? Just, some stupid people will still just not employ these eco solutions. Some people are very in for the tradition, right? So if they are traditionalists, you have some traditions of doing ecological things, and you don't even realize that they are very ecological, like the making the preserves, right? This is something that people do, and they don't have to be very ecological to do that, but they still do that because of tradition. Okay, did I answer that question? Okay. Uh, which is more focused on Poland. I don't know. I'm not sure. Um, I don't know. Lots of things, lots of different things people employ. Um, it's also, I think it also depends on who you know and who you are friends with, because you can basically see some patterns and some ecological behavior from or like in people that you are friends with or the people you know. I'm not sure. Okay. Does this answer the question, or can I really say something more?
So guys, you can activate your microphone and respond if you want. So Yayat did
Hi, can I ask a question? Hi, everyone.
yeah, Iwan, go ahead. You can
Hi.
say to Agnieszka.
Hi, Agnes. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So I'm interested to know more about your vegan journey. You know what I mean? So were you born in a vegan parents, or like what? If it's not, what was your like turning point? The moment when you feel like, okay, I'm gonna go vegan. Um,
Okay. Okay.
y-
Okay, sorry. You can continue if you have something else to say.
no, that was it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. I was not born into a vegan or vegetarian family, not at all. A very heavily relying on meat family because it's a tradition and it's easier. And it was easier to eat meat back in, let's say, 1990s and early 2000s, right? So that was when I was a kid. I'm old, but at some point, I think I was like 12, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be vegetarian." And no one can stop me. I was also like, I had problems with anemia. So basically, that was not a choice. Not that was not a good choice for me with anemia and really bad, like no choices in supermarkets that could be vegetarian or vegan. So that was a stupid thing to do. This lasted like a week because I had nothing to eat really. So so I stopped quite quickly. I just stopped that. But when I was I think it was a second year of my studies, so it was 2016. Um, I was friends with I was just friends with a person, and we both kind of went, "Oh, what if we stopped eating meat?" I was like, "Okay, I guess let's do that." So we just stopped together, and I never did go back to eating meat. um, do I have some ecological uh, issues with that? Never thought of this being an ecological choice. I think I just kind of stopped because I found it very weird to be like to say that, oh, I love animals and then eating one. So I felt like, oh, that's that's quite stupid of me. I think I'm just gonna. I don't really want to be. Um, how do you say that? Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot the word. I forgot the word. Sorry for cursing here. Didn't mean that, but I just felt like that was not really true. to me to be eating meat and to say that I love animals, right? So I just stopped. And I'm vegetarian at this point. As I said, some of the vegan options are quite expensive, and I really love cheese. Sorry, I love cheese, and that's something I just can't give up for now. But as I said, there are vegan cheeses options, so maybe if it becomes a bit less expensive, then I'm gonna try to turn vegan. But yes, I also now realize that my vegan choices and the fact that I give up meat matters at some point, right? Um, Ecologically and just ethically to me, I guess. I hope this answers your question. If you want me to specify something or say something more, go ahead.
So, Iwan, I hope that answers your question. Great question, by the way. So, we're gonna go on to Biasma because she has had her hand up a while. So you could just activate your mic and say hello.
Yes, am I audible? Because it's raining here, I can't hear anything.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So I have a question from Agnes that when she showed us the slides of diet changes, it says that more women are actually doing it. That they're actually doing vegan and stuff like that. My question, I'm kind of curious why it is. Is it related to the ecofeminism, or is there any reasons behind that data? Thank you, Agnes.
Um, Thank you for the question. It's actually quite an amazing question, and I've not thought about that. I suppose it could be also part of the patriarchy, because women are the ones who make the grocery shopping in the traditional, let's say, families. So they are more likely to see the products and to think to themselves, "Oh, maybe this is worth a try," right? Because they are usually the ones who do grocery shopping, and that's why I guess this is more popular amongst them. I suppose, but I don't know. When I think about my vegetarian and vegan friends, that's also just girls usually. I don't know. Maybe this is all about patriarchy. So men are supposed to eat meat to be these, strong macho people, right? And then women are supposed to be more feminine, and and maybe this comes easier to them because they are not stereotypized. Sorry, st- they, they are not stereotyp. Oh, sorry, I don't know how to say that word now. You know what I mean, I guess.
Stereotypical.
Yeah, but stereotypized, maybe. Sorry, I don't know. I have always problems with this word. So maybe that's why. That's why it happens. I would have to look into ecofeminism to cover that. But this is an amazing question, and thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Biasma, for your question. That was awesome. Would anyone else like to ask a question or comment on something? I saw there were so many interesting, slides and ideas actually from Agnieszka's presentation. But before that, Agnieszka, do you have enough time? I know that you're going to have to work in a couple of minutes.
No, I have work at 11, so not a
Okay.
problem.
So because we're allocating, I think like 20 more minutes for this. So yeah, would anyone like to ask question or comment?
Feel free. I'm very chill.
Yes, she is. But while we are waiting, yeah, you could just post it on your chat or just raise your hand or activate your mic as usual. But I was interested in some of the things I didn't get to try while we were in Poland, Agnieszka. I didn't really get to try the communal fridge. I forgot what it's called.
It's Jadłodzielnia. It's a food sharing place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I'm not going to attempt to try to pronounce that because I'm just going to be doing.
It's fine.
So the food sharing, that we didn't get to do that. It's done at Christmas, right? Usually. No.
Usually, I mean, you can do. I guess it works every day, But I think the most interest is put around the Christmas, because people waste so much food then.
Yeah. And could you talk a little bit about this 12 type of food tradition? Like I don't think I've shared it with my friends here before.
Hmm. I'm not sure if it comes from Christianity, but probably. But then, you know, Poland is considered a very religious country when it comes to like Christianity. So it is speculated that around like 90% is Christian, which is false, honestly. But you know, this is like a stereotype. So basically, the 12 dishes for Christmas might symbolize the 12 disciples from the Bible. So that could be that. But then Christians kind of stole some of the traditions from pagans, right? And pagans would probably say that the 12 dishes symbolize the 12 months, right? So, but it's still 12. And these include like small dishes, but also like bigger ones. And some people pay much attention to this tradition. Personally, in my family, we don't. We make the food that we're going to eat. I'm raised in the family that doesn't easily waste food, which sometimes is a problem, because sometimes you have to throw something away and you can't. You have some rice that has been in the fridge for like 3 days. No, I can't throw it away. I'm just gonna make something out of it. I just can't, right? Because I think I don't know, we were kind of guilt tripped since the very childhood not to throw away stuff, and it's difficult, right? So whenever we have bigger occasions like Christmas or like birthdays or some sort of things like that, we don't really, we don't care about the tradition, right? Some people do. We don't, because we don't really want to waste food. But some people don't care about that, right? Some people don't care about ecological problems, or just, you know, food waste. So they would go and make these 12 dishes that you would not eat, because how much can you eat at one sitting? You know, you sit at the table and eat. There is a limited space in your stomach to eat all that. But you know, this comes just from tradition, probably from paganism, not from Christianity. May I say? I'm quite sure. Okay. Does this answer your question? I feel like I'm floating around the question sometimes, so it's kind of difficult to like point to one specific answer sometimes. But I hope it does.
No, you did answer the question, and I just wanted like everyone to get an insight about, you know, the unique tradition and how it has certain, you know, ecological concerns related to that type of custom. Because here in Indonesia, we also have, you know, like big days and celebrations, and there are, you know, eating habits or special dishes that we have, you know, but I've never really scrutinized or thought about the ecological concerns. Maybe like who's here? Like Icha, maybe could you share whether, well, like what kind of traditions happen in Lombok, our area, when we have the big day? Maybe you could share to Agnieszka.
Okay, thank you. So basically one of the most popular big day is the 8th. Is that how you pronounce it? Eid al-Fitri?
Eid, yeah, Eid. Happy Eid.
Yeah, Eid. Yeah, the Eid. So during that time, there are a lot of food also cooked by usually the elders are doing it, because it is just not a thing because even though I'm already like 20 or up to 20 years old, we're still considered as kids. So we do not, sometimes we do not make the decisions on what to cook and stuff. And also it's been very the tradition of the family. And in fact, it is also based on the race, because I am, my family is Bugis. It is like one of the race in Indonesia. So most of the food are made of the meat. But the good thing is, even though we cook so much, or the family cooks so much. After we eat, we share the food to the family. So my mom will get like part of the, so there should be no waste. The food that's in my family, I don't know in other, but thankfully that happens, and everybody just get to eat what my grandmother cooked, for example, or what my aunt cooked. Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Icha. Maybe Agnieszka, you'd like to comment. Sorry.
No, I suppose that's just the smartest way to do. It kind of reminded me that when you have a family gathering, you usually communicate quite well with the family. So if they say that they are going to make some certain dish, even if you want to have the 12 dishes, right? You don't make that one too, right? Because you just communicate, so you don't have the same dishes twice, right? For example. But yeah, it's good to share with others. Like, could you maybe like share the food with your neighbors, for example? We sometimes do, especially when we have bigger gatherings, not like Christmas, but maybe like a wedding, or like an after funeral party. Party is not a good word for a funeral, but if you have a funeral, you usually have a after funeral dinner kind of thing. So then you also can share with the people who attend the place, who attend the part of the funeral too. So you share that, you don't throw away stuff, you don't throw away food, you try not to throw away food. But yeah, but it's good that you can share, and that should be employed more, I think. So this I think this food sharing place also helps, but then it's also exclusive, because you usually find that in bigger towns or in bigger cities. So people from the countryside are usually excluded from that, but then the people from countryside here are probably maybe not purposely, but they are more likely to oops, to be the ones who would not throw away the food, right? So it works in a way, I guess. Okay, thank you for sharing all the info. It's good to know more about that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing, Icha. And anyone else, like if you would like to comment, add something, please, of course, just raise your hand, activate your microphone. But yeah, I'd like to comment also, like it was a very good presentation, so many facts packed in there and so many things I'd like to try when I come back to Poland. I can't wait for, the trams. But that's going to be an adventure too, because they keep changing the number and I sometimes get so confused, like I have to ask my Polish friends about which tram to go somewhere. But yeah, it's a really interesting experience, guys. But we see that all of these issues intersect with ecology, right? Like we talk about gender, the patriarchy, feminism, etc. That has an effect. We talked about culture, the traditions that we have, that has an effect on ecology also. It's really interesting. We talked about education, how certain practices and policies implemented by the government, not only for the whole country, but in micro sectors, to the household, to different kind of schools. It has like it has an impact on ecology. It's really interesting, I think. And I think in Indonesia, we also see that because we have this interfaith dialogue in Indonesia. We've done that in ECCO, and we also talked about belief systems and what rules they have on ecology, and whether it's practiced vigorously or not. But I just realized something, Icha, like the tradition for the Eid, because this practice of sharing also comes from scripture of like you have to give this. I don't know how to translate it to English, but it's called zakat, and this is like a tax that you have to tax on your money to give to the poor. And in the Eid celebration, usually we have like gatherings, and then in these gatherings, you sometimes invite orphans or the poor to eat with you. So you cook a lot, but you invite not only your family, but also less fortunate people. to come over, pray together, and eat together. I think there are also, ecological implications in these kind of practices, when you have morality and social norms, but it also impacts ecology. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, sorry if I'm like rambling philosophically. Anyway, so would anyone like to comment, or Agnieszka, would you like to add something?
I think you've pretty much said all that I would also like to say. Yes, you have these. It's all interconnected, I suppose. Ecology, culture, feminism, all that is pretty much connected, and it's worth mentioning that you kind of can't really get away from ecology, I suppose. You're gonna stumble across it somehow. So yeah, so I very much agree with that.
Mhm. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think that this might be, really interesting for an upcoming paper of yours, maybe, or something we could write about later.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. So I just want to tell the others again, if you'd like to make, some last comments or questions, there's some time now. I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about that. But just, some announcements. Agnieszka, we have a few talks coming up, like tomorrow and also on Sunday. Some of the youth here are going to have mini talks on various topics, like there's electromobility, there's circular economy, there's climate literacy, various topics, and it's going to be on Saturday and Sunday. And I'll just send you the link if you're interested to join. But I know it's going to be like really early in Poland, but we'll have a recording, I'm sure of it, and we can share it to you if you're interested. And then we also have our grand final, which is on the 9th of October. So there, the finalists are going to be asked questions about the environment. They're going to answer. We're going to have a very interesting talk about from somebody who's like a leader in electromobility and ecology in Indonesia. During that grand final, we're going to also have some entertainment from local artists. So if you would like to, peek in, come over, just join the Zoom, relax and watch, you're very warmly invited to that event. And you're going to see some of these wonderful people in action. So that's going to be great. And I also want to tell you that we're also currently working on something here in ECCO. We're doing a thrifting thing. So we're trying to boost the thrifting spirit. And on Sunday, this Sunday, actually, we're gonna open up a booth, a stand near the seaside. So we're gonna open up there, and people can come over and look at our products. So it's just, just clothes that we're not using anymore, and like we package it, we put a price tag on it, and just and sell it for really affordable prices. And hopefully people, can see the value of thrifting. And some of the youth here are already really engaged in this kind of thing. That it's become a habit for them. For example, Iwan here, I think he asked a question before. So he also inspired me about this thrifting thing. And I shared a few points to him about how in Poland it's a regular thing. And Isha is actually, Anisha over there is actually one of the youth coordinating this event for on Sunday. So hopefully I might send you a few pictures and then we can share how that goes. Wish us luck for that. Yeah. What else? Any questions, guys?
Wait. Thank you for all the invitations. How early are we talking about the events? I might wake up.
Wonderful. Yeah, because Agnieszka is an early riser, to be fair, unlike me.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be at 1300. So that's like 6 a.m. But that's like open room, like with all the welcoming remarks and stuff. It will like usually begin with the core events probably at around your 7 a.m.
All right. then maybe. But this weekend just doesn't work for me because I'm leaving early in the morning to visit my friend. But gladly will join the events in 2 weeks' time, right? That I would gladly join because I will be home. I would just sit and watch you perform. All the best of you. Um, okay, I wanted to address something, but I think my brain just doesn't remember all the mini monologue that you had. I guess I saw the information about the thrifting. That's very nice, and the fact that you want to sell it in affordable prices, not places. That's also amazing. Um, Good luck with that. Good luck with that. But it also reminded me that we also have this similar thing, not just the wardrobe sharing kind of box wardrobe thing. We also had this wardrobe sharing whole event at 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 one of the organization I am a member of. We have this spot that is like very inclusive of people, and they also organized this wardrobe sharing. So it was more, I guess it was easier to access because it lasted for a few days, right? Not just in one spot. If you're fast enough, you can grab something. That was like a whole event. Yeah, so I just remembered that. So sorry if I'm adding more information, but yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's wonderful. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get that through my head, like this whole wardrobe sharing event, like on a large scale. That's gonna be like so much excitement in one spot. I imagine people like grabbing all the stuff that they want, just going on a free shopping spree. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much, Agnieszka, for your materials. I cannot express to you how much this was so meaningful to me, for the kids at ECCO, for everyone here. And also we're going to share this to the others who could not make it today. And I'm sure everyone had a nice experience, but before we end this, could I get like one of you to give like comments or just a remark to Agnieszka and her materials? Would anyone like to volunteer? Okay, Biasma, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you so much. To be honest, like Mbak Agnes was telling about a lot of things that I've never thought about, even though it seems small. I like we are doing diet changes, food sharing and stuff. We thought that it doesn't give any significant changes or it's a minor thing, but Mbak Agnes shows to us that it actually matters and it could actually giving contributions when it comes to environmental ecological things.
Thank you. And yes, very much agree with what you said. You can employ so many small changes that don't really change like the whole life of yours, right? Like if you buy a new toothbrush that is not made of plastic, because actually I didn't mention that, but plastic toothbrushes are just hell, really, because so many of them just go to waste, right? So this is just a small change, and obviously you have to take into consideration the fact that they might not be easily accessible, right, in some places, but these changes will come, I hope. I hope it just gets better with access to more sustainable products and more sustainable solutions, right? But thank you for your remark.
Thank you so much, Agnieszka and Biasma, for your comment. And I see that we still have like 3 minutes. So Icha, please go ahead. Got your hands up.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Naya. I'd like to say thank you so much, Agnieszka, for your sharing because I actually get insight regarding the major or the field of study that I'm currently studying. Before I have no idea that food can actually give big impacts toward the environment. I mean, I have a little knowledge about it, but then um, I am exposed to that, and I'm very interested to know more. Like, how do the plant-based food can taste like the meat? Like that, I think that is correlated with my field of study, which is food science and technology. And yeah, I think I will look forward to that after this. So thank you so much.
Oh, I'm very glad that it could lead you to some more knowledge on that. And I hope you can try all of the vegan options someday. You're very welcome to come here and have me as your tour guide across, the vegan, vegetarian food options. I'm very looking forward to that.
Wonderful. Yes, a collaboration in progress. Wonderful. One more from Sarfian Hidayat, please.
Hi, Mbak Agnesia. Actually, I would like to say thank you so much because next project on Eco Ambassador is Eco Talk, which is I should bring a topic about eco lifestyle, and it was so confusing what kind of topic that I should discuss, but actually you inspired me to elaborate my topics, and there are a lot of stuff to do to make our environment becoming so green. Thank you so much.
Oh, again, I'm so happy that I could actually help you with some things. And may I say that if you have any questions or if you wish to contact me, feel free to do that. I can share my social media, or Naya can share them. I'm very open to helping you out if there is anything I could do.
Wonderful. Yes, I love this, the connections made. So yeah, we only have 1 minute left, unfortunately. I'm just going to check the chat for a minute. Yeah, there's some, there's some comments. Anyway, so on a final note, I'm so glad everybody's so inspired. I can see it from their faces, those who can show their camera, but some people, have connection issues, so they could not, but I can hear in their voices that they were, they're so thankful and really gained a lot from this meeting, Agnieszka. It was really wonderful. And on a final note, you might have noticed that everyone keeps, having this lisp of lingo, this slip of the tongue in calling you Mbak Agnieszka or Mbak Agnes, because the Indonesian version of your name is Agnes. So some of them called you Agnes. I hope you don't mind. And also this this additional word in front of your name, which is MBAK, Mba, which means like sister. So they already regard and call you as the sister because that's like a form of honor, a form of respect in our culture. So I hope you don't mind. So they already, respect and regard you as somehow like a family far away. So yeah, I hope that you feel this from everyone. You feel this welcome, and of course, maybe one day you can come over to where we are and get a taste of this really hot weather. And maybe a lot of us are also, really excited to go there. Hopefully, one day, this partnership with Poland will get some of us here, maybe all of us here, our youth, to go there and visit you, hopefully, in Poland. And we can bring you some souvenirs. I know that you like, some of these soy-based products, like maybe like tofu or the tempeh that is, produced really on a large scale in Indonesia. And we can bring you some of those vegan products if you're interested to try.
Okay, may I address all of the things that you said? You talk so much. My brain can't comprehend all the information, I'm just gonna discuss that. Okay, don't worry about calling me the wrong name. I have a best friend who I've known for 6 years, and she still doesn't call me Agnieszka. She usually calls me Nienie or Agnieszka. And she's known me for 6 years. So like, shame on her. You're doing great. Thank you for the nice sister addressing thing. That's very nice of you. I really enjoyed the time here, and I hope I can join you sometime again. Very much interested in that. Would love to come to Indonesia one day. But I have to collect some funds to do that. But hopefully someday. It's nice to know that I have some connections with you, and feel free to come here. Naya can probably point out to some good things about being here, some bad things too, but like let's not discuss them right now. But good things too. You're very welcome to come here someday, and I hope I can be of some help if you do. Without coming, you can also ask me questions. You can text me if you want to be friends. Feel free. I really like meeting new people. And what else? I'm very much interested in trying food. I love food. But interestingly enough, we have lots of food imported from Indonesia too. Like a few days ago, I was just tidying up my cupboard in the kitchen, and I found some Indonesian pasta, for example. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a picture, but this thing expired like 6 years ago because I just forgot to throw it away. So I was like, maybe not. That's not very ecological. But yeah, but that's just a thing here. And yeah, thank you for letting me come here and discuss some of the ideas. If you were interested in the presentation, I can also leave the presentation for you. And yeah, feel free to talk to me about ecological stuff, and if you want to some other things if you want some other things to discuss, feel free to. Okay.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much for remembering everything and then packaging it into a compact thing. Wonderful. See, I told you she's brilliant. Um, it's so great when you can meet people at the edge of the world who can have a conversation with you. And with our very different culture and our very different habits, like Agnieszka is one of those few who would really, really connect from the very beginning. So I'm really grateful for that. Anyway, yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for coming here. And I'm looking forward to more talks in the future. Actually, some of our connections in Poland really want to hold this again. Maybe you can talk to some high school students later from a known school in Poland. They really want to get connected to you. We also have a lot of other Polish friends who would like to get connected to you. I have a friend who can actually speak in Bahasa. She's Polish, and she would love to talk to you guys too. So we're looking forward to doing this maybe hopefully on a routine basis later. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Agnieszka, you can see in the comments everyone's saying thank you and everything. And I'm gonna have to close this in a minute. So any final remarks, Agnieszka?
I think I've talked so much. I don't have anything else to say. I felt very welcome here. You're very nice people. And I'm looking forward to seeing you do great things in the future, ecological choices, and just amazing things. You're amazing. And I can't wait to hear you talk in 2 weeks' time. Probably not tomorrow. I'm so sorry. I'm just going on a trip this weekend. But maybe on the train, maybe I will join you. I'm very thankful that Naya gave me the chance to speak here. And yes, that was an amazing experience. So thank you very much for welcoming me. And I hope I didn't bore you. I tried to keep it quite chill. Because Naya said, "Oh, just be your regular chill." So I was. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak here.
Wonderful. Yeah, so we are so very grateful. So as you can see there in the comments, there are a lot of things. Thank you, Agnieszka. Thank you for being you, etc. I told you that you just needed to be you, as you usually are. Right, we're going to close this with a screenshot. We're going to take a selfie. So for all of you who can activate your camera, dziękuję bardzo. So all of you who can activate your camera, please, we're going to wait for you in 5 seconds. Come on. And then we're going to take a screenshot. So I hope the admin at ECCO Foundation, Jagat, you can do that. All of you want to do that too. I'm going to do that too. So let's go ahead. I'm going to count in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quick screen. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. You can leave the room. It's okay. Again, thank you so much for Agnieszka. You can leave the room whenever you want. But I'm going to close this up in like 10 seconds. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.
Thank
Bye. Thank you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.